Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, is an educational framework that guides the development of flexible learning environments and learning spaces that can accommodate individual learning differences.
To the right of the screen is an animated picture of a classroom where all students are seated at their desks using various devices such as computers and mobile tablets. A disabled child in a wheelchair is prominently displayed in the middle of the class using a tablet. A teacher stands in front of the classroom with the words UDL written across the board. The students and teacher are all wearing headsets over their ears. To the left of the screen is a speech bubble with words defining UDL.
It is based on the principle that educational environments and products should be usable by everyone to the greatest extent possible, without the need for adaptation or specialized design.
To the left of the screen is the same speech bubble with text defining UDL. At the top right corner of the screen is a bullet point reading, "Educational environments and products should be usable by everyone." Right below this text is a cartoon picture of a diverse group of people. Some of them are men, some are women, some are white, some are black, and one of them is in a wheelchair. At the bottom of the screen is another bullet point that reads, "Without the need for adaptation." Right below this text is a cartoon image of 3 hands of people of different races showing the thumbs up gesture, representing diversity and inclusion.
Let's look at the key features of Universal Design for Learning. One key feature is the provision of multiple means of representation. This principle addresses the what of learning, suggesting that information should be presented in different formats so that all students can access and understand the content. For example, text might be supplemented with audio, video, and hands-on activities, ensuring that learning is accessible to students with various sensory and cognitive abilities.
On screen is an image of a ruled notebook with a list numbered 1 to 3. At the line numbered 1 is the text, "Multiple means of representation." This image is followed by 4 cartoon images at the 4 corners of the screen, each representing a different format through which people can learn. The cartoons are of a paragraph of text, a television, a headset, and a cluster of children with their teacher conducting a group activity.
Another key feature is the provision of multiple means of action and expression. This aspect of UDL focuses on the how of learning, offering students various ways to demonstrate their knowledge and skills. This could include traditional tests, oral presentations, video projects, or interactive simulations, allowing students to choose the method that best reflects their strengths and learning styles.
On screen is the image of a ruled notebook again, with the list numbered 1 to 3. This time, the text, "Multiple means of action and expression," appears on line 2. This image is followed by cartoon images of students writing an exam in a classroom setting to demonstrate traditional tests, an image of a computer screen with a play button at the center to represent video projects, an image of a student making a presentation at the front of a room with a chart to represent oral presentation, and finally an image of a group of students working together in front of a screen to represent interactive simulations.
The third feature of UDL is the provision of multiple means of engagement. This principle addresses the why of learning, emphasizing the importance of motivating students by offering choices in how they engage with material. Educators are encouraged to create learning activities that are relevant and challenging, and that accommodate students' interests and goals, helping to foster a deeper connection to the content.
Once again is the image of a ruled notebook with the text, "Multiple means of engagement," appearing on line 3. This image is followed by cartoon images on the left and right of the screen. On the left, there is an illustration of a smiling girl with a pink bow in her hair, flexing her arm in a strong pose. Above her is the text, "Importance of motivating students by offering choices in how they engage with material." On the right are 2 smaller graphics. The first shows 3 children enthusiastically playing with oversized alphabet letters. Above them is the text, "Relevant and challenging activities." The second is a large red and white target with an arrow hitting the bullseye. Next to it is the caption, "That accommodate students' interests and goals." Red arrows point from the girl on the left to the 2 visuals on the right, showing the connection between motivation and student-centered learning activities.
Let's explore the benefits of Universal Design for Learning. One of the benefits is that it promotes inclusivity in the classroom. By designing lessons and assessments with various learning styles and abilities in mind, all students have an equal opportunity to succeed. This can be particularly beneficial in diverse classrooms where students' abilities and backgrounds may vary widely.
The screen is divided into two halves. On the left is the cartoon-style image of a group of children. Each successfully completed an assignment using different methods. Above them is the text, designing lessons and assignments with various learning styles and abilities in mind. On the right are two smaller graphics. The first shows a stick figure person standing on a pedestal and holding up a trophy. Above him is the text, equal opportunity to succeed. The second is of 4 students sitting behind their desks. One of the students is a girl in a wheelchair and she is raising her hand. Above this graphic is the text, beneficial in diverse classrooms. Red arrows point from the children on the left to the two visuals on the right, illustrating how designing with UDL promotes inclusivity.
Another benefit is that it encourages the development of flexible learning skills, which are crucial for success in a rapidly changing world. Students learn to adapt to different learning environments and conditions, enhancing their ability to function in different contexts and with different sets of tools and technologies.
The screen is divided into two main halves, with a red arrow pointing from left to right. On the left, there is a circular green arrow surrounding a pink human head profile. Inside the head is a red gear, representing thinking or processing. This is labeled Adapt to Different Learning Environments and Conditions. On the right are two graphics. The top graphic shows a 4-quadrant grid in red, yellow, green, and gray, each with a human icon inside. The label reads, enhancing their ability to function in different contexts. The bottom graphic shows a collection of learning tools such as books, a ruler, pencil, notebook, and beaker. This is labeled and to use multiple learning tools.
However, UDL also faces some limitations. Implementing UDL can be resource intensive. Educators may need significant training to effectively apply its principles, and schools may need to acquire new technologies or materials to accommodate diverse learning methods. This can be a barrier, particularly in underfunded or rural areas.
The image illustrates two main limitations of UDL. On the left side, there is a cartoon graphic labeled Specialist Training. It shows a male instructor standing in front of a large presentation board filled with colorful pie and bar charts. He appears to be explaining the data to a seated audience of 5 people, all facing him and working on open laptops. On the right side, under the label Cost of Technologies, there is a stylized office scene. A person is standing and holding a large light bulb, symbolizing an idea or innovation. Nearby, a seated individual works at a desk with 2 large computer screens displaying colorful charts and graphs. There are digital tools and tech accessories scattered across the scene, highlighting the high-tech nature of the environment and to emphasize the complexity and cost of such technologies.
Another limitation is the potential for overwhelming choice. While providing multiple options for learning and expression can be empowering, it can also be confusing for some students who may struggle with decision-making or who prefer more structured learning environments. This can sometimes lead to decreased learning outcomes if not carefully managed.
On the left side of the screen, a cartoon graphic shows a young boy sitting at a desk and happily interacting with the computer in front of him. A light bulb and various colorful icons appear on the computer, signifying ideas and interactivity. Above this image is the text, "Can be empowering, but..." On the right side of the screen are 2 cartoon-style images. The first shows a woman with question marks around her head, shrugging her shoulders in a gesture that indicates confusion. The text above her reads, "Can be confusing." The second image shows a traditional classroom setting with a blackboard in the background, students seated facing a teacher. The text above the image reads, "Some students need more structure."
If you're a university student, I recommend reading the article I've left in the pinned comment, which could help you with your studies, or writing an essay on this topic. You might also want to check out the videos on screen now that explore related concepts in education.